Hello, I'm Dr. Vanita Rattan, and this channel is dedicated to skincare for skin of color. As you know, I'm a doctor, but I'm also a cosmetic formulator specifically for skin of color. So today's video is one that you have requested. Retinol is one of those products, the ingredient that we all talk about, but sometimes don't know how to use. We don't know how to layer. There are a lot of myths when it comes to retinol, and we do need to be a little bit careful with skin of color. So with skin of color, as you know, one scratch, one bite, or one burn, and we hyperpigment. We cannot afford to irritate our skin. And the same is true with retinol, which is why we need to be really educated and empowered when it comes to this particular ingredient. If that sounds good to you, please give me a thumbs up. Let's dive right in. So what is retinol? How does it work? What are the benefits? So the way retinol works is there's a misconception that people think retinol is an exfoliant. It's not an exfoliant. It increases your cell turnover. So cells are basically produced more rapidly at the basal layer, and so they come to the surface faster. Now, a few things happen because of that process. When these keratinocytes, the skin cells, move fast to the surface, there's less time for melanin to be transferred from the melanocyte to the skin cells around it. And so they come to the surface faster. And so that's why you see a reduction in hyperpigmentation, because there's less time for those melanocytes to transfer the melanin. So that's one thing that improves, is the appearance of hyperpigmentation improves. The second thing that happens is your skin looks younger. The reason it looks younger is because those fat, juicy skin cells are coming to the surface faster. You now have plump, fat, juicy skin cells on the surface. So if you look at your children, I look at my Sienna and she's got this beautiful plump skin, and that's because she's got lovely, fat, juicy skin cells sitting at the top. With us, as we age, I'm 37 years old now, as we age, our skin cells, it takes 37 to 40 days now for my skin cells to come to the surface. And when they come to the surface, they flatten. And then they're compact. And that's what leads to dull looking skin. And also when light reflects off of it, it doesn't do so in an even fashion. In fact, it will scatter in different directions. And that's also what leads to dull looking skin. So what we're trying to do is get those fat, juicy skin cells to come to the surface so that light reflects off of it evenly, as it does on our children. And we want to have that flawless, glowing skin. So that's why that happens. And that's why vitamin A is great for anti-aging. It increases that cell turnover, nice fat juicy skin cells come to the surface, less dull skin is being seen. As a lot of you know, when I originally started years and years ago in the laboratory, I had to figure out which percentage actives were suitable for skin of color. Was retinol even suitable for skin of color? And if it was, which percentage? And what I would do is I would have cohorts of 30 people at a time going through trials. And I would make a cream, for example, with 1% retinol in it, and see, does this irritate? Which percentage of the 30 skin of color candidates does this irritate? And for me, because I've always tried to aim for 0% reaction, that's always been my guiding percentage that I'm aiming for. And so when I did 1%, it did irritate a percentage of the population. So I then went back and I reformulated a cream at 0.5% retinol. And actually at 0.5% retinol, we had 0% reactions, but with similar efficacy. And so for me, of course, I'm going to always try and push you to purchase 0.5% retinol as opposed to 1% retinol. And this really is fundamental because there are very few products out there that have been formulated with 0.5% retinol. And really, that's why I look at the back of the list. Often they won't tell you what percentage retinol is in a particular product. You always have to guesstimate. And really, that's what I'm here for. I try and do that work for you so that you know which ones to buy, which ones to avoid. When you're choosing your retinol, it's also important to look at packaging, because retinol is unstable. It reacts with light and with air. So really what you want is an opaque jar so no light can get through, but also an airless pump so that you have no oxygen in the packaging. This is expensive. I'm a manufacturer myself, and I can tell you firsthand that airless pumps are the most expensive form of packaging. And that's why, you don't tend to get it. So airless pump is different to the straw pump, which are cheap to buy, but airless pump is really what you want when it comes to your vitamin A. Okay, so when you're choosing which vitamin A is suitable for your skin, you have to look at your skin type. So for example, if you have oily skin, then you would want a serum-based vitamin A that's non-comedogenic, so that's not going to clog your pores. If you have combination skin, then you can opt for a serum or a cream. Don't forget, with serums, it has a higher water content, and so often you have increased actives that are able to dissolve in the water phase, which then gets formed into the serum. So that's also something that's worth looking at. And if you have dry skin, then you really need a cream-based vitamin A, but with many humectants in it. If you have dry skin, it's probably better that you first focus on hydrating the skin, improving your skin barrier before you start wearing vitamin A, because vitamin A can dry your skin further. It increases cell turnover faster, and that can be irritating if you've already got dry skin. So if you have dry skin or severely dry skin, I definitely would avoid vitamin A until your skin has improved and has been hydrated. I think it's worth watching my video on repairing skin barrier and also my dry skin video if that's one of your issues. I'd also say it's worth wearing your vitamin A at nighttime, because don't forget, vitamin A is UV unstable and it can be sensitizing to the skin. And so it's best to wear things like that at nighttime so it can absorb, it can work on your skin can recover, and in the morning, double cleanse your skin so you're removing any actives from the night before. Then make sure you are good with your moisturizer and your SPF 50. So Dr. V, how do we use it? What is a step-by-step routine? So the first thing I'd say is you want to cleanse. So imagine first of all you're doing this at nighttime. So you need to double cleanse because you want to remove all the oily sunscreen from the day, and then you would tone. Often I tend to exfoliate 2 nights a week, and then the other 5 nights I'll wear my vitamin A. So I would never wear acid at the same time as vitamin A, as it can be quite irritating for my skin and just generally for skin of color. What I like to do is apply my retinol. So 0.5% retinol, I put that on first so that that's the first active to penetrate. That's the most effective part of my skincare routine. Don't put it everywhere. I put it on the areas that I want to focus on. So as you know, I have these lines right here. These are my granddad's big teeth that he gave me. And so when I smile, it definitely impacts the lines on my face. And so I definitely drop my retinol in here. Often people will put it in here and also on the corner. So wherever you're getting dynamic wrinkles or static wrinkles, that's the place you really want to focus it. And then just move the product around. So a great combination in your skincare routines, mainly for anti-aging and anti-pigmentation, would be after you've done your 0.5% retinol, I would normally, for me, melasma is obviously one of my biggest concerns. So I wear my anti-melasma cream here. That's where I mainly get it, and I get a little bit on my forehead. And then I would go in with your vitamin C. So any other antioxidants work very well with your vitamin A. So the other thing to add are your peptides and your humectants, so your water magnets, things like hyaluronic acid, urea, and also your emollients, so things like ceramides. So the products that I would recommend is start off with your 0.3% retinol plus 2% bakuchiol from Paula's Choice. Then I'd go in with your Face Theory Regina C20 or C30 vitamin C, and then you can top it up with CeraVe. That's just a very simple way of incorporating vitamin A into your skincare routine for anti-aging that will also include other antioxidants and your ceramides, especially when, skincare can be very overwhelming. There's so many different ingredients and you don't know what you can layer, and, are things going to counteract each other or cause irritation? I think it's a very simple 3-step active routine that I would be very comfortable recommending to anyone for anti-aging purposes from 30 years old plus. And often, don't forget, from 21 years old onwards, we start to lose 1% production of collagen. And so I always get asked, so Dr. V, when exactly do we start our anti-aging routine? And honestly, I'd say from your early 20s. I mean, before that, you should be wearing your sunscreen anyway, which is the number one cause of premature skin aging. I mean, I put that on my children and they know they're not allowed to leave the house until they've got their moisturizer, their sunscreen and their lip balm on, which we should all be doing for our children anyway. But then in terms of actual actives, I would say early 20s, mid 20s is great time to start with your vitamin A, your vitamin C, and your ceramides. Right, so I hope you found today helpful. Don't forget to download your free guide to skincare for skin of color. The link is down below. I go through all the actives that you want to use and the ones you want to avoid. I'm in the comment section for 1 hour at the launch of every single video, so please can you write down any questions below for me, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram at the Hyperpigmentation Clinic and Skincare by Dr. V, and also on TikTok, which is Dr. Vanita Rattan. I do tend to try and do as many polls on Instagram as possible, which then helps me with my YouTube videos. So if you want to get in early on the process, please do follow me on Instagram. Thank you very much.